Welcome again to Game Devs Play Games, where we play games while talking game design.
And cooking food.
We went on some adventures, and now we're at camp. We figured we'd start it so you could see fun food.
Well, we ended the last episode after you collected that secret treasure map.
Yeah, it was the thing I found was a treasure map that led to a piece of a treasure map. Now, whatever. I was like, I don't care anymore. I got a piece of a treasure map. I'm immediately excited.
Here,
now,
Chris, show the clip of that.
I think I just found it. Bam.
Is this it? This doesn't look like treasure. One bit.
It looks like a map, or part of one.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Yeah,
because we have that
Chris,
recorded.
do that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna pick either a multi-meat sandwich or some veggie medley stew. Which would you rather see?
Multi-meat sandwich. I mean, they're both going to be delicious. I usually choose whatever. Well, EXP boost is good. I usually go with that.
All right, let's do it. We're going with the multi-meat sandwich. There's so much food in this game that I don't know how you could even possibly explore everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
See that subtle jiggle of the.
It's perfect.
It's like that's the meat that's jiggling.
How did he cut it that thin? Does he carry a slicer on him?
Probably. Well, his primary weapon are knives, so I mean.
That is cut really thin. You need a slicer. One of those. You know what I'm talking about?
That's true.
That the delis have.
You could probably do that manually if you have the right setup.
I'm still angry they haven't come out with King's Knight yet.
King's Knight?
That's the game they're playing on their phone. That's the game I was telling you about. That. So okay. So I was like, what is this game they keep talking about? And I looked it up, right? And I realized I had played this game before.
What?
Okay, so it's just, I'm gonna explain it very quickly. King's Knight is a game that came out on Nintendo before Final Fantasy. Look, he's actually holding the sandwich.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay, cool. Anyway, so King's Knight was a game that came out on the NES, and it was really weird because basically kind of played like a bullet hell, but there weren't so many bullets coming at you. It was more like dodging obstacles and shooting through things and trying to get to the end of the level. It was like one of those games where if you were patient, then you were good at it. And so you'd play as one character, and if you died, it would move on to the next stage, and you're like, oh, my next life. But this is a different guy in a different level. And then if he died, you'd move on to the next one. And then you do this 4 times, and if all 4 of them died, the game ended. And you were like, what the hell just happened? The weirdest part was when you finally started getting good. If you beat it with one of those guys, but then died with the other 3, then you'd move on to another level with the previous one, and they didn't explain what was happening. And what was actually happening is you play as all 4 levels, trying to keep all 4 characters alive, and then by the end of it, all characters you had would, you'd fight with them in a row to do the final fight.
That's kind of cool. So it's like their journey of meeting up together?
Yes, that's exact. And it was like, that's really cool.
Was that made by Square?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember seeing a couple of Let's Plays on that. I think the Game Grumps did that game actually, and it looked fascinating.
It is a really interesting idea for a game, and so they were like, yeah, it's like 30th anniversary or something like that. So we're gonna come up with it.
That's awesome,
right? And so that's why they keep talking about it, but they just haven't done it yet. All right, so we're here next to some magic.
Yeah, you came across a revelation about magic.
Okay, so let's talk. Guys. So the way that this is portrayed, I used my last lightning spell by accident. Anyway, the way this is portrayed is
we have the 3 elements.
We have the 3 elements,
and then the empty note on the bottom.
And it looks like
it's grayed out.
It's grayed out, so it looks like you can't use it. And it says if you have the items, you could put stuff into it. So this whole time I've been playing at home, thinking I couldn't do anything yet because I didn't have the proper items and I hadn't gained the levels or whatever the case was. But sure enough.
And I read it as I thought that bottom one was the magic flask that you're putting the elements into.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could say but why would it have a fork and knife there?
But instead, what it's saying is that you can use items, ingredients, or treasure and boost the spells in different ways, which if you hit the center button, you could find that out anyway, but it would not describe it well enough to be like, if you throw items with this, then they could change stuff up, and you're like, what does that mean? It's like, nothing, don't worry about it. Alright, so, for instance, I can create an ice spell and then attach potions to it, and it will add healing to it, so whenever I cast a spell, I will also heal myself, and I can add, like, a certain amount of potions to it. 99 is the highest you can go, but
Jeez.
so you can and do it that way.
It's intense.
There's also chain. Chain is ridiculous. It means that you can cast up to that amount of time. So if this is a 3 chain, if I add a Phoenix down to it, I can cast the Blizzara spell 3 times in a row, maybe. Like it's a kind of random. There's ones that go up to 5 chain, and there, you can add poison to it. You can add confusion to it. You can. There's
some of them change like attack power. I saw
some of them will like add to the attack power.
EXP bonus.
EXP bonus.
And this
that
justifies the treasure so much.
Yeah, because otherwise you're not doing anything. Misfire. It's just like it's really powerful. It adds 31 per thing, but it has a chance of failing. Stop. You can add stop. The spell stop, where it just stops them in place. It's really cool. Always has been. Stop. It feels magical.
So all the way back in like episode 3 of this series, when we were like, feels like the magic systems just isn't done.
It's because we didn't look hard enough, I guess. So
to any of you guys that were trying to yell at us back then, this episode's
we got
for you.
We got you. So I'm gonna add antidotes and have poison ice spells.
Because
just do it.
Just do it.
You need poison level, all of it.
Just all poison level.
All the poison, and it's the most weight. Boop. All right.
Yeah.
Boop. There we go.
You showed me this in between maybe this episode and the last episode, and it blew my mind. I was like,
it just changes everything, because they're like, magic's really powerful, and you're like, I guess it's really powerful, but then once you realize you can cast it 5 times in a row, yeah, now it's powerful.
Yeah, this makes a pretty hefty difference.
So there's that. I guess I probably should have gone to Ascension and just like upgraded my magic real quick, because
oh yeah.
Where's it at?
Wow, we have a lot of AP to spend.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So
we should do that. I mean, we're not exactly hurting right now, but you know, AP unspent kind of just doesn't really do anything for you.
Like there's an argument to be made there.
I'm saving up for one of those 99 plus AP slots. No. Okay, I guess.
Double roll.
So we're still en route to find core, right?
Yes. We talked about how we would do some side missions, and then we'd actually just play the game, because we don't want to sit there and deal with side missions.
Well, and to be fair, and we said this on an earlier episode too, most side missions don't have that much to offer to the game design discussion. You see them once or twice, and you kind of get the gist of how they work.
Yes. And then it's just repetitive, pretty much.
And like, I think that there's an appeal to certain players. Like, when I was playing this in my personal time, I only got to chapter 3, and I spent my like 20 plus hours just doing side quests. Why? Because I wanted to. Like, I'm that kind of player. I like to just do everything.
Yeah, and that's why that's for our side plays for just us.
Yeah.
And what? Let's do this.
Star Shell? I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't actually used that ability, because I just take photos with them all the time, so I don't really.
It's pretty much what I do too.
I don't really know why I do it. I guess because there's a chance of gaining AP off of it, but otherwise it's like, why even bother?
That's fair.
Yeah, dodge attacks midair. Duh.
At least I used to take lots of photos with Prompto before you saved over my save file.
I might have done that thing.
Calling you out on the show.
You're a dick.
We might have footage of it actually, but it took me like half an hour to realize that it happened. I was like, wait a second.
Wait, something's not right. Whoops. Let's do this, and then this, and actually just like be good at fighting.
I mean, especially since we're not going to be focusing a lot on side quests.
Any day now. just take advantage of that fire. Kapow.
Yeah, I'm curious to see now what kind of interesting combos you can make with the items.
Let's make some healing fire.
Yeah. Now, it's not like you stand in the fire to get healed. It's more like you get healed once you cast it.
Smite with Fira while healing the caster. Boom.
Cool.
Store.
I guess it's not always the most, like, creative combination, but I think that's a good way of, like, I don't know, making the spells a lot more complex without a lot of effort.
Yeah, I was I thought that what they were going to do is say that like the fire and lightning and all that jazz were the fundamental blocks that you use to create other spells. So for instance, you know, you can add an item to it and it'll be like, oh, now you can like your fire spells will stop the enemy. I thought they were going to do it where if you did a combination of said things, it would create the spell stop.
Yeah, and that's how I kind of read it too, which, you know, I'm not upset that it's this way. I feel like it's less complex, even if it was less interesting,
yeah.
I guess. So I don't know, it's nice to the player.
Going on to the quest.
Okay, so we're actually going to find core now.
Yes, we are.
We have 9 minutes left in the episode, so
we're just gonna drive past this.
Oh yeah, we should just pause it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all right. We'll see you in a second. It's a smart way to play.
No,
we don't care about that. I'm wearing casual clothes. We don't care about being smart.
Theme of the series. I don't care about being smart. Prompto, why did you just turn and look at us? Like, it was a little weird.
Something satisfying about listening to the Battle of the Four Fiends while driving up to this area. You need to play Final Fantasy IV. It was actually hard sometimes. Because that game, like, you know, in this one, like, in all the Final Fantasies now, it's like there's always, like, the ultimate weapon or some other weapon that's, like, it's stronger than a final boss. And now it's even more ridiculous where it's like, it's going to take you 72 hours to beat this boss. Final Fantasy IV was like, you can train all you want. The final boss is still ridiculously hard. Good luck.
It's actually kind of cool.
You better have mastered the mechanics.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IV and VI are my two top of my need to play list.
Absolutely.
Right now.
6 you play because it's the best. 4 you play because it's the classic. It was like the first Final Fantasy. It was like, these are people and they have lives and names actually. Because before that you could name all of them. Then 4 came out and was like, these people are named.
Was 4 the one with like 1 million characters too?
6 had more characters, I think, ultimately. 4 had a lot of cycling characters.
Okay.
Hey, another magic flask.
So this is kind of where this is the hunter base, right? Or no, this isn't the hunter base. Is it?
This is, yes,
a hunter base?
A hunter base, maybe?
Across the land, blossoms from Tenebrae can be seen displayed in memoriam. With no remains to mourn, throngs have gathered in Altissia to pay their respects. Men offering prayers at a vigil held before the wedding dress. Lady Luna...
You dream of driving the open road. But what
Oops.
drives you?
Guess I accidentally skipped that one.
I mean, we got the message, though. Basically, there's no corpse of Lunafreya, so now Noctis can probably be like, maybe she's not dead.
Yeah. Because at this point, nobody knows where Lunafreya is, which is really strange because in that scene that it showed, she was just, like, walking down the street. So it's, how did nobody notice her walking down one of the few exits? And they point that out in Kingsglaive, that there are not many exits from the city. So how does she find the one that nobody's occupying?
It's a secret large exit.
Like, if they had simply said, there are a lot of exits and they're hard to cover, that would have been all it needed.
It's a coincidence he's made it out of all those battles alive.
Okay, so now they're talking about how badass Core is. And then you get to see Core.
Focus.
I mean, Core's pretty cool.
He is really cool. I'm fairly happy with what they did. Oh yeah, I forgot I had the...
I was half expecting you to be like, and Core is a plebeian, so...
Philistine. God. I went through all of my magic trying to hit that guy.
That's why you gotta use the normal sword, man.
No, screw the normal sword.
Or daggers.
But I don't want to get rid of my magic, so the answer is fairly simple.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
I really should use guns more often in my playthrough.
It's too funny not to. It is way too funny not to. Look at this. I'll just reload. I feel like John Wick right now.
You know why it's funny though is because the rest of the combat is so like all over the place, and so the moment that you could just kill something by standing stationary it's such a stark contrast.
And like even when you do something fancy, all it is you doing like a little dodge roll while shooting, which is hilarious because when you use a spear you do like 18 flips in the air just to hit them once, and you're like, well, why don't I do that with the gun if I'm that good? I don't really want to have that. What's better?
You're probably going to find more of those dagger quills. So, case in point. Bang, bang, bang. Imagine though that was like.
Boom.
Imagine that was the core fighting mechanic of the game though, that you use only guns. Like, that would kind of make this game a little lame.
It would. I mean, they would have to spice it up.
That's true, but
then it would become Devil May Cry. So,
ooh.
I'm just saying.
Ooh, strike.
Okay.
Right back to the early days of GDPG, even.
Oh.
Because we played DMC4. Ooh. Yeah, people weren't happy with that playthrough. Just by the way, I don't blame them. Well, Cujo was okay. I was very critical of the game, and our most frequent comments at the end of the series was, overall, I was disappointed in the series. I thought you'd leave this game with a little bit more than what you came in with. I was like, man, I don't know what to tell you. They made a lot of bad choices in the design of that game. It was still, like, I'd probably have fun playing that game. But.
Yeah, honestly, for what we do on the show, I'm surprised you didn't play... Sorry, of course I had to circle around to see if there's anything else.
Oh, every time I come back to this spot, I still do that. I'm like, I don't know what I expected.
I know that maybe it showed up now. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, like, I'm more surprised you didn't actually play the original DMC.
Like, the first one?
The very first one.
Dude, I'd totally be down for it. I think we didn't have it, and Cujo really wanted to play the fourth one because it was newer at the time, or the like update to it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is
Core.
where the game starts
Yeah.
showing you what Noctis can do. And this guy, you look at him and you're like, well, this guy's gonna betray you. And at least where I'm at in the game, he hasn't, so...
I was gonna say, don't spoil anything.
I'm not spoiling it. He had, like, I looked at it, I was like, oh, you're gonna betray me, like, first thing, but he hasn't. He's actually a really cool guy, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does later. People who are further in the game are probably laughing at me right now for whatever reason.
Well, that's the idea. You want to like him. They want you to like him. Be like, wow, you are actually kind of cool, Core. Man, thanks for being such a pal. And then he kills you.
And it's like, then you get to see how powerful it is, and he's like, there's no way I could beat this guy. There's no way I could beat this guy.
Me that? Why did he stand there smiling as I left? Why? Why did he lie to me?
That day, he didn't want you to remember him as the king. In what time you had left, he wanted to be your father.
Makes sense, though.
He always had faith in you, that when the time came, you would ascend for the
One of those moments where you're like, Noctis, you suck.
Nah, I don't know. I feel like his emotions make a lot of sense.
I can agree with it, but then again, I can see, like, when I was younger, I would have felt the same way. And then I still look back at young me and go, young Nathan, you were a bitch.
I mean, that's fair.
Boom, stabbed in the heart, dead. Oh, nope, quite the opposite.
So this, I like this moment though, because it kind of like
Just yeah.
After seeing this scene in the conversation with Cor, and I know we talked over a lot of it, but I think we finally shut up during the most important part. And so hopefully you guys can hear that too. I know our bodies kind of cover the subtitles, but regardless, Cor's basically like, your father did this to protect you and to get you ready for taking over his spot in the kingdom. And so now going back and seeing that earlier cutscene with the last conversation Noctis had with his dad, this, now you can see that, rewatch that and see like how much meaning was in that scene, understanding what his dad's intentions were.
It's very heavy.
Yeah, and like, it took me until I got to this point to really like understand it, and then when Jen started playing it and I rewatched that scene, I was like, there's so much going on here. This is brilliantly written.
Like 10 words are said, but the whole weight of the world is in that 10 words.
Oh, so good.
So, at the same time, mechanically speaking, not only do they give you a nice bit of story and emotion to the characters, but they also mechanically upgrade you as well. And so now we start finally getting the holy arms, the royal arms, for Noctis, and only items that he can equip. And
power weapons.
This ridiculously powerful weapons. So, obviously, you look at it and you're like, oh, attack power 194.
Why would I ever use anything other than that?
And the reason is because it kills you while you're using it.
Yeah.
It drains your hit point. Oh, by the way, if anybody's looking at this thing, looking at it like, why does he already have the blade of Brenadai? Or Brenai? Or however you pronounce it. I randomly found it.
Brenair. Yeah, you found it just like sitting on the ground.
And it was like, this is a really powerful weapon, like, for this point in the game.
I mean, it's the next tier up, but it's still
2 tiers up, actually.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, and yes.
Yeah.
That's not the only power your forebears left you. Your journey's just begun. Another tomb lies close by. I suggest you head there next. There are tombs scattered across the land. All are on dangerous ground. I'll go with you, for the time being. Not only to help, but to get a measure of your strength.
Every Final Fantasy fan's, like, major boner. Bam!
So cool.
Oh, look at that. Look at that guy. Who's this guy? First thing you look at his equipment, and then you try to unequip it, and then it won't let you.
Like,
first thing you always do, I'm going to take all your stuff, because I know you're not going to stay with me.
Oh, he's level 52.
Yeah, he's level 52. And he's got the kotetsu, and Aikiku emoji. I don't know how to pronounce it. And
so,
then his ridiculous power, and
and then here's us plebeians.
Oh, yeah.
I wish you could change Cor's outfit too, just so you can have him dress casually.
Let's. What was I gonna do? Let's see. Nope, no upgrade for him. Yeah, I really wanted to. I was like, Cor, maybe we can at least just like
put a baseball cap on your head.
Crown's Guard fatigues. That's what we're wearing. Come on, you could do better than that. He has 3 accessories.
It is cool though, right? Because like these guys talk him up and say, "Oh, he's such a badass." And then you can actually look at him and be like, "Oh my God, you are a badass."
Many of these powers are
How much time do we have in this?
Oh, we're done.
Oh, we're done.
We're probably a little over actually.
But we know the location of only a few. I've enlisted the help of the hunters. They comb the land in search of the lost tombs.
Oh, look at them being helpful.
Kikatrick Trench. We know there to be a crypt deep inside the tunnels.
Yeah. I love that mission.
All right, and that's where we leave off.
Cool.
I'm excited. Cool.
Question of the day. Let's talk about the real magic system, not the one we thought it was.
Yeah, that's fine. The magic system that A, does not require MP, B, you can splice up spells a little bit, and B, add items to them.
You mean C? You said B twice.
It's the second B.
Double B.
Double B. B point B. Yeah, you can add items to them and spice them up that way. How do you feel about that? And what advantages and disadvantages does that have?
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Be sure to vote on what you want us to play after we're done with Final Fantasy. I know it's going to be a while, but your votes count. Bye. Don't smile.